Welcome everyone, this is Debbie Mayberry with National Kitchen and Bath Association. You're here for a second webinar of the month called Designing a Millennial-Friendly Kitchen and Bath Showroom, generously sponsored by Gebert. And Stephanie Azran and Leslie Lalonde are with us. They're from the SH Group. And ladies, if you are there, we are ready to get started. Thank you so very much.
Hi, thank you, Debbie. Hello and welcome everyone. We want to thank you for joining us today and also want to thank the NKBA for having us. We're very excited to share our presentation with you. So before we get into the content, we just want to introduce ourselves quickly. So I'm Stephanie Azran. I'm a content manager for the SH Group. I create a variety of content, including blogs, social media posts, and marketing materials. I always make it a point to stay up to date with industry trends, and I really enjoy doing in-depth research to deliver the type of content that inspires and educates. So currently I'm contributing to the Wholesaler magazine, as well as publications for the Luxury Products Group and the Decorative Plumbing and Hardware Association.
And hi, I'm Leanne Lalonde. However, I do love the name Leslie. I'm a certified interior designer with a passion for sleek and modern designs. Currently in my role as lead designer for SH Design Build, I work with showroom owners and managers across North America to transform decorative plumbing and hardware showrooms into unique shopping destinations. I use my design skills to develop floor plans, interior design elements, and custom display fixtures that contribute to a powerful consumer experience.
Right. So as Leanne said, we work for SH Design Build. That's a firm that specializes in decorative plumbing showroom designs and display fixture fabrication. As experts in the industry, we want to share the knowledge and expertise we've developed over the years so you can have a thriving, great looking showroom that sells. So today we're going to discuss the millennial client and how to attract this powerful group of shoppers into the showroom. We'll look at trends in current showroom design and innovative ways to transform the showroom experience. We're also going to look at showroom branding and merchandising techniques for this new style of showroom. And just as a bit of a caveat before we start, we are talking about millennials today, and we'll explain a bit why, but we're discussing things that really are great for all generations of shoppers. And as a note, the showroom images that you're going to see in this presentation are from projects we've designed and worked on. So they're both real photographs and concept renders. There we go. Oh, there's us. All right, so let's get started with the millennials. So millennials are a powerful generation of shoppers with over $200 million in annual spending power. On average, they're spending about $10,000 a year on home renovations. So attracting this group of 25 to 40-year-olds into kitchen and bath showrooms requires showrooms to change not only the way products are sold, but the entire customer buying experience. The reason we're talking about them today and have tailored this content to the millennial audience is because their population is going to be passing the baby boomer population, which is the population with the most spend in the industry. They're going to pass that population by 2028. So within the next year, the next 8 years, they're going to become the generation to accommodate not only in the decorative plumbing industry, but across all retail. So in the home improvement industry, millennials are major players. In the US, for example, they represent 1/3 of homeowners. They're now in their early to mid 30s, and they're buying homes and investing in renovations, remodels, and upgrades. So there's a couple of reasons why millennials are buying older homes. It's due to the state of the housing market. First of all, more baby boomers are deciding to age in place, so there are fewer homes on the market. And also 40% of the US's 137 million homes are 50 years or older. So what's available on the market, it's really in need of renovations. There's another reason millennials also love DIY and customizing spaces to their personalities. So just a quick look. This is a nice map I found for the US. You can see East Coast, it's centered quite a bit around the DC area. On the West Coast, it's the Bay Area, as one would expect, and also Seattle and Portland are hotspots. And in Texas, it's more centered in Austin. And you can see also in the Denver, always a big spot for young people. And Sioux Falls in South Dakota is actually coming up as well. For our Canadian attendees, it's I was quite surprised to learn this. The top city for millennials is Ottawa. Coming up right behind that is Victoria, BC. Also in Ontario, we have Waterloo and Barrie. And in Quebec, it's actually Quebec City. Great. So this is research from House. They do some great industry research about what people are renovating. It really gets in depth. So specific to millennials, the first room that they're going to want to renovate, this is about 28%, are choosing to do the kitchen. Then we have next, 25% are choosing to go for a guest or secondary bathroom. And just below that, we have the master bathroom, 21% are choosing to go for that. So the kitchen, secondary bathroom, and master bathroom are the top 3 rooms in the house that they're looking to renovate. So their wish list, what are they looking for? First thing they're looking for is sustainability. This is really across the board. In terms of products, we're talking things that are made with recycled or green materials. And if you saw the Kohler Waste Labs last year at CAPUS, those items that are made with waste materials are becoming quite appealing. They're looking also for smart home integration, all those gadgets, the Alexas, the Google Homes, things like that, and that are incorporated with their appliances, for example, their laundry appliances, their fridges, their stoves. They really like that kind of thing. So showrooms that offer that and have the knowledge behind integrating that, it's a great leg up. Wellness. We've been hearing that for quite a few years now, these spa-like spaces. It's coming into kitchens as well because people are cooking at home. And this is not only due to the pandemic, it's not trendy. It's part of what people want now. Yeah. So they're looking for that in their kitchens. And again, the bathroom as a space of retreat. The other thing they like, as this is also not only for millennials, this really goes all the way to the baby boomers. Great technology in faucets, showers, and appliances. Especially with the pandemic, there was a surge in demand for touchless technology in faucets and things like that. And also materials that are easy to clean, because that's become a primary concern for sure. Yeah. Their top searches, just as a note, are for laundry appliances and bathtubs, as all those beautiful photos we see of those pedestal tubs and freestanding tubs. There's a reason they're really, really hot right now. So design goals. You can see sort of a millennial style bathroom on the screen here. So for millennials, aesthetics are the driving force. They want a space that looks good. At the same time, they're keeping things simple. They like the minimalistic design. This is a bit of a generalization, but it is something that you can keep in mind, especially since things like double sinks are actually a bit going out of style, because this generation wants to get as much out of their space as they can without it looking cluttered. So part of that is having functionality and efficiency in their design and in terms of the product. They really like customization because they want a personalized home. They want a home that reflects who they are. That's really, really important to millennials. That's not like a cookie cutter thing that they're going for at all. And what this has led to is this rise in DIY. So 75% of DIYers are new homeowners. You buy a home, maybe you don't have the money to go straight out, start decorating, buying things. So you start to take on projects on your own. And as new homeowners, millennials are squarely in that DIY category. But what's interesting is millennials actually don't have the same DIY skills as previous generations. And it's even to the point where they will call professionals to assemble flat pack furniture, like IKEA furniture. Still, they love the DIY, they want it, and they find a lot of inspiration for this online. If you think about YouTube, there are tons of videos out there to show you how to complete even quite complicated projects. So we've seen that if showrooms can add DIY information to their website, especially in terms of the products like faucets and things like that, and give tips on how to complete these projects successfully, you're becoming a partner in their DIY journey. And then they know they can trust you and go to you for products and tips in the future. They really do need the advice, is the key takeaway here. So I wanted to add this little bit in about how the pandemic has affected homeowners and design and things like that. I know I'm not going to talk from the industry side. I'm talking really more from the end user. So it turns out that during the pandemic, half of homeowners surveyed by House actually plan to continue or start renovations this year, home improvement projects, and still at an average of around $10,000. And 1/3 of homeowners plan to make repairs. So they're still working on their spaces. The reason is because people are home more than they have been in years. So they're looking for really creative ways to use their private space and maximize it. So it's things like multifunctional kitchens, home offices are a huge thing, gyms, and really great functional outdoor areas are becoming must-haves. So showrooms that can help by offering things like storage options with cabinetry, as well as design assistance for these multifunctional spaces will definitely have a leg up. And we would say that this is going to continue for a little while longer. So moving in now to how millennials shop, they're very smart shoppers. They are very sensitive to the look and feel of a retail space. They're highly suspicious of gimmicks, and they're so overwhelmed by online and offline, like print ads, that they barely see them anymore. So what they do is they look to shop in places that look great and offer something different. For millennials, shopping is a social event. It's to be enjoyed with friends and family. And because they view it as a relaxing and enjoyable activity, they don't like pushy marketing tactics. It just doesn't work on them. They're also the first generation that is fully connected to their phones, tablets, and computers. And they use these devices at every single step in the buying journey. Even in physical stores, they will pull out their phone in a store to compare prices and check other options and finishes and things like that. So to target this generation, retailers have made products and services available on as many channels as possible. Millennials and younger generations are used to omni-channel experiences, and they expect them. They use Google specifically to find locations to shop and always look at reviews before deciding to leave the house. Millennials expect retailers to be easy to find online, and they want to get a feel for the brand online before they step into the store. So here are some key takeaways about millennials and what they're looking for. So they're looking for authentic in-store experiences. Curated selections in these spaces are highly appealing. They want quality professional assistance and knowledge. There are a million resources online, we all know that, but millennials value in-person support as much as possible. Millennials are not deal seekers. They will pay for quality over price. They are looking for the piece, not the deal. And this is great if you can get this going on your Google or on your website. Their favorite way to find out where to go and what to buy is through reviews and word of mouth. So they want transparent reviews, and they're looking for the word of mouth recommendations on where to go and what to buy from other shoppers, family, and friends. So considering the ease of shopping online for everything from faucets to design services, The only way to get millennials into a physical store is to deliver a real experience. Younger generations of shoppers value real life connections over price, and Leanne is going to tell us a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. Thanks, Stephanie. So showrooms have the right products and the right connections to turn the millennial home improvement shopping trip into something special. So when adding the right design, suddenly you're not just selling products, you're selling an experience. And this should definitely be the goal of any showroom owners wanting to attract this type of clientele. For millennials, it's very important to be able to engage with the products. They're shopping for centerpieces for their home. So when they're shopping for a tub, they're not just looking for a tub, they're looking for the tub. With shoppers that put so much time and effort into their choices, it's no wonder they want to truly explore and engage with their options. Once they've seen the product and want a specific style or finish, online catalogs or QR codes work great. So QR codes where you can scan the product on display and then be able to see it in different finish options, for example. So the goal is to showcase more while taking up less space. A quick design note for this type of merchandising is to put tubs, vanities, toilets, so lower products in the center of the space, and then around the wall space, showcase faucets, accessories, and shower heads, for instance. This type of configurations actually allows for easier pairing and gives a lot of options without being overwhelming. Basically allocate a lot of room to letting people try products out in the showroom. And as always, great customer service and expertise go a long way. Ultimately, it's why people enjoy shopping in smaller boutique settings. Now let's talk about attracting millennials to the showroom. Creating a carbon copy of a trendy space should not be the goal of a showroom looking to target millennials. At the end of the day, a showroom's mission is to offer quality merchandise and helping homeowners find what they're looking for. Despite wanting unique experiences, millennials aren't looking for a plumbing showroom to be like Disneyland. A showroom with millennial buyers in mind can work on combining sensory experiences by engaging with the five senses with on-trend aesthetics. So with a mix of the two, has a powerful impact on shoppers. It makes an in-store experience very authentic and worth holding on to, definitely. Typically, when designers design a showroom, the layout is usually what drives purchasing behavior. Basically, we're able to predict and drive people's behavior based on where we put the displays in the showroom. We can easily use design to guide people through the showroom in a strategic way, ensuring that they don't miss a single product on display. And this is called flow. We'll actually be discussing this more in depth later on. But that's only one step. More than showing people where to go and directing customer behavior, we want to influence their actions. And the best way to offer an experience is to appeal to people's emotions. If you want to make them act, you have to make them feel. And how do you make people feel? You trigger their emotions.
Right.
Emotions, just like experiences, are very personal and internal. Two people can enter the exact same space and have totally different experiences because individuals are engaged in so many different ways, emotionally, intellectually, physically, even spiritually. In a retail setting, a person might be impressed by the lighting and another impressed by the displays themselves. And the reason we chose the image that you see right now is to show how product placement and design elements, like for instance, this wooden pergola, can create a feeling of calm and well-being that will enhance the shopping experience. Once again, that's what we're looking for. Since it's impossible to predict how each individual will react to curated in-store experiences, a smart move is to trigger some or all of the physical senses almost all of us share. So sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. So as customers journey through the space, lighting can trigger their sense of sight. A diffuser could create an atmosphere that reminds visitors of being in a spa or at the beach. Encouraging customers to try faucets or shower heads is very powerful as well. It creates an effect that's exciting and also rooted in reality. And then a nice background music can also set the mood that you want your showroom to evoke. And also offering refreshments is a great added value that will definitely not go unnoticed. Excitement created by unexpected experiences will compel clients to purchase just so they can keep that good feeling going after they leave the showroom.
So before we move on to design trends and showroom design, I want to take a moment to talk about technology. So there's been a lot of talk recently about putting tech into decorative plumbing showrooms. So typically the idea behind it is to provide more information about products on display or to show more styles and finishes. And there's also been a push for adding elements of virtual reality and augmented reality to help clients during their design process. So while the tactile aspect of screens and the virtual aspect of those headsets that we see in this picture here, they're attractive, it's something that needs a lot of consideration and research. We've been doing some of that for our clients. These things require a lot of maintenance to keep running, and the data has to constantly be updated. And the thing is, at the end of the day, is there's nothing that disrupts a shopping experience more than screens or tech that don't work. So in terms of how millennials and younger generations shop, in-store screens actually don't add anything to the experience. It actually takes away from it. These shoppers have the tech in their hands. The phone is with them all the time, and they don't need it in front of the product. So what we've been advising and seeing some of our clients do is investing in the website. That's the tech you want to invest in. This is the first stage of the buying journey. It's where customers will find you. It's where you attract them and convince them that your showroom is worth an in-person visit. In terms of inside the showroom, in the physical aspect, again, we mentioned earlier, QR codes or an app that they can use with their phone is a great idea. Okay, so let's move on to some design. Great. Now, when talking about trends, any design trends, whether it's retail design or interior design, there's no straight answer, I'm sorry to say. At the end of the day, design preferences, they're unique to each and every person. And in terms of showroom trends, we work with people all over North America. It's very market specific. What works in Manhattan doesn't work in Houston or California, and vice versa. So the only way to develop a design that appeals to your customer base is to know your audience. Who's coming in, what are their ages, and what are they asking for? What we try and do and what we see most often, it's not designing based on a trend, but designing for organization and functionality, because those are the things that clients value.
No, definitely. Let's see what we've been seeing in showrooms as far as design palettes. Inspiration for style, color, and design can be found on Millennial Instagram accounts and by searching for photos of restaurants and hotels frequented by these younger generations. Popular color palettes are currently earthy with neutral tones. So you'll see black, white, gray, and wood grains. And a lot of showrooms choose to add pops of color with plants, graphics, and artwork around the showroom. Home decor objects like bowls and vases or kitchen and bath accessories are also ways to add colors that gives you the option to change things with the seasons. On the other end of the scale, there are showrooms going all out with color. Going this route means taking inspiration from European design, where color has been incorporated into retail designs for many years now. If you're really targeting millennials, using color is a good tactic because they are very attractive for this crowd. If you are able to change this up frequently, because color trends do change often, color is a great option. Another option is called color blocking. So one idea we've been exploring is using vignettes or color blocked areas to add truly eye-catching features. And because these are smaller areas and surfaces, they can be painted as needed without having to redo the entire showroom. You want to use color to highlight products. It should never overshadow what you have on display. So this technique actually allows to use color in a very bold way, but at the same time, it'll draw the eye directly to the products on display. Using color in bold and novel ways will certainly draw shoppers' attention and interest. Also, the chromes, golds, and whites that characterize decorative plumbing products look stunning when set off by colors like coral, teal, like you can see on the screen right now, and also spa-like blues and greens. Another important aspect that should not be overlooked by showrooms looking to attract younger customers is to include multifunctional areas used for classes, community, or customer-oriented events. Also, the way sales are done now is evolving. We're moving away from the traditional workstation with the sales rep sitting on the one side and the clients sitting on the other. And we're actually transitioning towards a more casual approach. So to ease the transition, some locations create multifunctional work areas that offer different configuration options. So like on the first image, you can see that you have the traditional layout, like I just mentioned, with the sales rep sitting on the one side, the clients on the other. But you also have a long counter where the employee and customer can sit on the same side. And this creates a more casual approach. We've also seen configurations where the sales rep and customer gather around a bar height table, like this you can see on the second image. Or where they all sit comfortably around a coffee table and look at different options through digital media.
Right.
Another important trend for millennials is using text as accents. Millennials love to read, whether it be words, quotes, history about the products, and storytelling about the showroom. These can all be implemented into design because millennials find this very attractive. So we're moving away from, and we've all seen these large scale images of a happy family in a kitchen or a woman enjoying a spa-like bubble bath. And we're actually going with subtle touches of lettering and quotes on the walls. Lifestyle graphics can and should be achieved through the design of the showroom itself. When the space feels warm, cozy, and welcoming, it creates the same feeling as looking at a photograph. And that is in fact even more powerful. Once the desire is sparked, the customer is encouraged to make purchases that'll let them carry the good feeling they have home with them. Again, it's not about the product, it's about the experience.
Right.
So a few takeaways. Number one, go with the neutral palette using gray, black, white, and wood grains. And then as far as pops of colors, use plants, artwork, and home decor objects and accessories. Be sure to implement multi-use areas for classes, cocktail events, and also for sales areas. And finally, definitely implement accent with text for business history and for added product information.
Great. So now that we've given sort of an overview of some design trends and some of the ways to put some more trendy things into the showroom, we're going to talk a bit more specifically about showcasing products. Now, there are a lot of good practices for merchandising. There's tons of research out there. There's a lot of ways to approach it, and it's really specific to each individual showroom. Having a strategic merchandising plan, though, is really one of the best ways to optimize sales. It's very, very important. So we're going to take a look at some of the ideas and practices that we actually put into practice.
Mhm.
So we're going to go with looking at display fixtures to optimize your merchandising plan. So at the center of any showroom, the thing we're all here for, are the products. How the products are displayed and arranged has an enormous impact on the customer from the moment they set foot into a store. The relationship between consumer and product is a little bit different in a kitchen and bath showroom, though. Overall, decorative plumbing showroom merchandising, it's not a grab and go experience. You want to show off products in simple, organized ways that also encourage customers to stop and engage with the merchandise, to spend time with it. This is something they're going to be living with in their homes for, chances are, a pretty long time.
Years.
At least a couple of years, sometimes way longer than that, especially with some of the quality brands that are out there. So using a mix of vendor supplied displays, mismatched shelving, and outdated case goods, it doesn't send the right message, especially if you're selling high-end products. The right display fixtures made with high quality materials make merchandise do even more than just look good. It makes it look more expensive, which is great for the bottom line, for the margins for sure. So you also have to keep in mind that trends and product lines change and products get discontinued all the time. We hear this all the time from our clients. So any fixtures that you're using have to adapt to these changes. So movable display fixtures are a good idea if you want to refresh the space according to trends or seasons. Displays with interchangeable tops are great if you have discontinued products, so you can take care of that right away and not just leave it sitting there, or leave a big hole in your fixture. So remember that at the end of the day, the relationship between display fixtures and merchandise is very straightforward. It's a simple equation. The more expensive the display looks, the more expensive the products look.
Absolutely. The main components of visual merchandising are number one, the floor plan, the layout, and then number two, the 3D displays that are meant to encourage sales. However, the lighting, the color scheme, and the technology are central elements in creating a retail environment that will attract and that'll sell. The general preference of showroom managers and owners is to get as many products as possible into the showroom. Unfortunately, this does not work for the millennial audience. They actually prefer fewer products on display. And with a good website and smart salespeople to guide clients through available styles and finishes, the showroom itself can focus on showcasing top products. Also, a well-organized showroom will attract the desired clientele. Putting too many products on display makes a showroom look cluttered and disorganized. It'll confuse the shoppers and make the decision-making process a lot more difficult. When a client walks into a showroom and is immediately overwhelmed by products on display, they're not put in the right frame of mind to shop. Their eye doesn't know where to go, basically. When a showroom wants a lot of products on the sales floor, we recommend using proper displays to keep merchandise organized. And by consistent, we mean displays that have the same look, that are built with the same materials and the same finishes, like you can see on the render on the screen. It also takes a plan for branding, for logos, and what to do with manufacturer's display, which we recognize are a very important part of most showroom.
That's right.
And now a few note about working displays. So it's another element that is frequent in showrooms. So working displays for faucets, for shower heads, etc. We've all seen these. So just like when implementing technology that Stephanie mentioned earlier, the same rule basically applies to working products. The in-store experience is ruined when working displays don't work. They'll look abandoned and it doesn't leave a good feeling in the shopper's mind. For instance, we occasionally see rocks at the bottom of working faucet displays. These are hard to clean, so over time you can they tend to start to smell and they get covered in mildew. So you can either maintain them carefully or go with a lawn trough. That's a lot easier to clean. And that's also what we've been recommending lately. So if you have working displays, make sure they're always functional and maintained. All right, let's talk about optimizing the showroom. I'm going to go through the most important aspects to think about during any showroom renovation. It's a good general overview that applies to any decorative plumbing showroom, but it also helps you create a millennial-friendly showroom. So number one is flow. You want to increase your product's performance. Flow, which you can get from a strategic layout and floor plan, is about helping the clients to transition from space to space in the showroom. This way, so they can process what they've just experienced and prepare for what they will experience in the most optimized manner. Flow will lead to functional, beautiful, and meaningful spaces, and it also contributes to clients' perception and experience. Having large aisles is a great way to make your clients feel comfortable and want to stay longer in your showroom, especially in this unforeseen social distancing time.
That's right.
Then comes lighting. Proper lighting is crucial, whether it be for your employees or for your clients or the products, of course. Did you know that natural lighting has a very positive effect on buyers? As a matter of fact, sales are more likely to happen in a space that has more natural lighting than one that doesn't. So if your space has a lot of windows, you should definitely take advantage of that. In a showroom environment, one of the best ways to accentuate products is also by using light, whether it's built into the display directly or by focusing a track light towards the products. And we usually recommend this type of lighting, track lights, because you can easily change the focus through time. Then comes customer comfort. It's all about the first impression. When a customer visits your showroom, your primary focus should be on ensuring that their experience is pleasant enough to generate a sale. In many cases, businesses focus on their sales pitch to the customer, but they tend to overlook their comfort. The first thing you want your client to feel as they walk into your showroom is comfortable, because they will want to stay in that state of mind. So essentially, you have to focus on their well-being in order to ensure they can concentrate on what your business has to offer without distractions or concerns. They will feel more comfortable in a space that's well-organized, functional, and cohesive. And then comes employee comfort. A comfortable physical space helps create a more positive atmosphere, which in return leads to improved motivation and a greater will to produce good results. Also, a clean environment free from clutter helps to remove distractions and improve concentration levels. So you may want to include a lot of storage units, because showrooms tend to end up with a lot of pamphlets, sample books, product books and catalogs, etc. And now we'll let Stephanie talk about branding.
Great. So we just went through 4 of the top 5 things that we always approach at the beginning of a renovation process, things that really need to be thought about in depth. Now, branding is the 5th one. This is really critical, actually, because this is something that is going to make the connection with your customer. What branding does is create an emotional connection between any company and their target audience. When you do the right in-depth research into that audience, you're showing them that you get them and that they in turn can trust you to give them what they need and also what they want. So before getting so excited about branding, new branding is very exciting, or rebranding is exciting, colors, logos, all these things to think about, you have to really think about your showroom brand, especially if it's one that's been around for a very long time. It's going to be what ultimately connects with the customer, and it proves your worth in their lives and also makes them come back again and again. So in the end, That's not logos and colors that do that. It's the true personality of the showroom. Is it friendly and trustworthy? You know, a family-owned business that's been in the community for a very long time. Is it luxurious and exclusive with kind of a jewelry store feel or a museum feel? You may have an answer to that question, maybe you don't, but then you have to take it a step further. Your showroom is what communicates these qualities, whatever they are, to your customer. So you need to be sure that the physical space is designed in accordance to what you want your brand to offer them. So what we see often is it's easier to use vendor and manufacturer guidelines instead of coming up with a defined brand vision for a showroom. Now, in some cases, I will say the strategy works well, especially in a showroom like this in Austin that caters to designers, contractors, and architects. They know the brands and they know what they want when they walk in. So they want to know where to find the brand. For showrooms looking to attract end users, homeowners, consistency is actually what's key. So for a showroom offering multiple brands, often these brands are from all over the world, it's essential that the showroom brand is what speaks loudest of all. So you have to ensure that your brand isn't forgotten in the shuffle of keeping, you have to make sure it's not forgotten in the shuffle by keeping displays and overall design unified and consistent, sending a clear message to your clientele, and also, as always, providing unparalleled customer experience. That's part of your brand too.
Exactly. Thanks, Steph. So let's talk about internal versus vendor branding. Ultimately, dealers should have control over their showrooms. They should decide where vendor displays are positioned and how much vendors should pay for the space that they take. So when too many different displays are placed together, it can have a negative effect. It'll lower the value of the products and it confuses the shopper's eye. We suggest that if you do have several manufacturers display, to separate them into zones to create distinct environments for each. Here are some of the ways we manage the vendor/showroom balance. Custom displays can be built to respect manufacturer specifications, but still match the color, style, and sizing of the rest of the showroom display fixtures. You can use manufacturer displays to take advantage of their big marketing budget, keeping logos, but changing colors to match the showroom's brand guidelines. When using logos, make sure all the logos are the same size. Vendor logos can be huge and really take away from the overall design of the showroom. And finally, work with manufacturers to develop displays that suit the branding needs for both parties. So here's an example of using custom displays for branding consistency. For example, here the showroom didn't use manufacturer's displays. Instead, the displays were built in a uniform way with the same materials, the same color palette, and the same dimensions. And then the specific logos were implemented, but in the same finish throughout the space. It's easy to recognize the brand and also doesn't take away from the showroom's identity. This method of consistent logo use will also elevate the value of your products. So a few branding guidelines. Even without clear brand guidelines, the right design can help transform a showroom into a space that makes a statement about the brand. You're looking for that balance between the showroom brand and the manufacturer's brand, and incorporating as much showroom brand information as possible through color, through style, and through merchandising. So beyond logos and colors, branding goes far beyond these elements. Of course, it's very important to have a professionally designed logo and to pick the right brand colors for consistent marketing. But branding is about defining and promoting the showroom's personality and the showroom's promise. You want to create an emotional connection. The more you show that you understand your clients through your branding, the more they'll connect with you. This means using consistent language in your marketing and always fulfilling your brand's promises. Consistency is key, like Stephanie just mentioned. For your website and social media, post to the design of your physical showroom, there should be a consistent look and language. This keeps your message clear across all channels. Younger shoppers are not brand loyal and are turned off by confused messages and frequent unexplained changes in store. So definitely avoid that. And finally, balance through design. This is not only about having a strong branded look across the showroom, but it's also about using design to ensure that vendor displays don't take away from the message you're trying to send.
Great. All right. So now that we've gone through the millennial audience, design trends, optimizing your showroom, displays, merchandising, things like that, I want to just bring it together now by stating that the thing is looking at millennial habits or the habits of any generation of shoppers. It's never about stereotyping or ignoring other segments of your audience. The strongest showrooms provide great service and the highest quality products to dedicated customers. That's what makes a showroom, a local decorative plumbing showroom, what it is.
Mm-hmm.
When you add experiences and emotions to the mix, you're sure to have a really successful space and over the long term. So what I'm talking about here is connecting really where it counts, and that's with the customer and customer experience. It's a key driver of business value. The most successful renovations that we've seen put customer research to use. So by understanding what the target clientele wants, showroom owners and managers can design a space that reflects consumers' values, beliefs, attitudes, and also aspirations. Knowing what clients want allow you to determine the sort of products you need, of course, and that's obviously a very important part of merchandising and your sales. But knowing what your clients aspire to, what they're thinking of, what they're dreaming of, can offer really great direction for overall showroom design and which higher end items you're ultimately going to showcase. This is really what it takes to create real fans of a brand and a showroom brand. And that ultimately means repeat business established through trust and a common vision. So before you consider making changes, take a deep dive into your target audience, whoever that is, the one you're serving and the one you want. There's plenty of data available online, and chances are you already have the information in your hands, in your sales records, and never forget that your sales staff, they know your clients and they know what they need ultimately for a really successful showroom. Use that data. You don't want to make sweeping generalizations about the area you live in because that could alienate potential customers. Yes, it's true that some cities have more baby boomers, others are more popular with Gen X or millennials or Gen Y. So like I'm saying, the best idea is to conduct your own research. Keep details on your customers, pay attention to their buying habits, because it's not what they buy always, but how they buy. And that's why we're talking here about the experience. It's that kind of attention that pays off. So by taking a look at the people in your area, as well as your existing customers, you can start to target the groups that will bring you the best business. There may be more than one, and it's really up to you to decide how to approach these different market segments. Great, so thank you everyone for joining us, and we would love to take questions if you have any.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Leanne and Stephanie. Really appreciate it. And I apologize to you, Leanne.
No
Oh
worries.
my
Absolutely,
goodness.
no problem.
But we do have some questions, so let's jump right in. And thanks, that was so interesting. And before we get started with the questions, I just once again want to thank Geberit for their generous sponsorship for
Yes,
today.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so Monica wants to know, when considering sustainability, are clients thinking about the longevity of their materials? As an example, are they choosing materials and styles that are less likely to become dated? And then she says, with Willis, we see less fast design, or with this, will we see less fast design? Sorry.
Yeah, I'll start. I definitely see that. I think it's a trend that is it sort of started with fast fashion, and people are really taking more note of where their products are coming from and what they're made with. And because of, in this younger generation, they're looking for quality over price. You can almost see it right there happening, that there are things that they want that are going to last. They're not looking necessarily for things that in 2 years they're like, oh, it's going to break, but I didn't pay a lot for it. I don't care. I'm going to go and replace it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as showroom design and display design, we definitely always implement finishes, colors, and textures with time in mind, basically making sure that it'll stand the test of time, both through like the quality of the products we select, but also through the color scheme. So like we mentioned earlier, these earthy tones is actually what will work best through time, because any neutral color palette generally tend to last longer. If that answers the question.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, the thing is with color is the reason we've been doing color blocked areas is because it's really hard. I mean, color's fun and it sounds great, but when you do it over a really large space, and this is also true in interior design, it's a lot harder to change when you get tired of it or a trend change. So that's why you're seeing
without
these
affecting
smaller
the business.
Exactly. So you're seeing these smaller color blocked areas or vignettes, because that's something that can change, can be changed, or decorative items as well.
Okay, and does that perhaps, because Michael wants to know, what is meant by on-trend aesthetics?
So that's something that what we do, and Leanne can probably say a little bit more about this, but when we have clients who are in kind of hot metro areas that you're going to see a lot of maybe more European influenced design, we actually look at restaurants and hotels for beginning inspiration for mood boards, because those two places they're taking the things that they're doing in Europe. So when the Millennial pink came out, for example, that was everywhere, or these wallpaper now is becoming very trendy again. Remember for a while, like nobody would touch wallpaper. So things like that. So these are these on-trend aesthetics, but like we said, also they change a lot.
And they're also very specific to location. So for instance, we've done designs in Brooklyn where we went all out with these on-trend aesthetics because it works very well there. Same in we've done one in sorry, I'm forgetting where it was, or anyways, where's more the beachy one we did?
Oh, in the Hamptons.
In the Hamptons, yes, exactly. Sorry. So yeah, by on trend aesthetics, we're targeting more these areas where we're more likely to see something different and something a little bit more bold. I would
people
say.
Who are reading Architectural Digest and looking for the next thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you. And Michael says thank you.
Okay.
And so Dylan wants to know, are vignettes viewed as being inauthentic?
Yeah. I've been seeing some showrooms lately actually moving away from that, but there are different approaches you can take. We've seen some lower ones, so they don't actually, they don't like cut off areas of the showroom. The walls are quite low, so it's a distinct space where you can change products easily. And it is personal to your market, because some people like to see like a vignette in like a traditional style or a farmhouse style or an ultra modern style. And some showrooms we've seen have not put them in at all. No. They want product and that's it. But that's mostly when they have designers coming in. Yeah. Because the designers are just going for product. So it depends. If it's really end user oriented, I can still see them as quite useful to have.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I have nothing else to add. You've covered it well, but yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. Let's move on. So Christy says, it feels like we have gone through a transition year where people are migrating from in-store experiences to online experiences, home delivery, curbside pickup for safety. How do you see this impacting showroom size and buying experiences in the coming years?
What I've been speaking to a few of our clients, and they've actually been really busy. And one of the methods they used to adapt to this was going by appointment. I know that's nothing new. Some showrooms do that, have always done that. Really, they weren't really open to just people coming in off the street. And they really like the by appointment experience because it gives you time to clean in between. So great for health and safety protocols and keeping socially distanced. But people, when they make an appointment, they spend more time. If they're going to book that appointment, they're committed to coming in and talking about their project. And I think that's actually an aspect that can be carried forward over the next few years. I think it's going to be a while before people are comfortable going, just, going for a stroll, going on a Saturday into a showroom, especially the smaller ones. But I think the appointment thing, either in store, even online, if you have a beautiful showroom and you can film, I know I said be careful with the tech, but if you can film a virtual tour to put online to get people to know what you have, and then they book an appointment, like that's the call to action. I think that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And also when we're talking about decorative plumbing, because, faucets and these types of products are becoming a decorative aspect of a space, basically. So what I've seen with clients I've worked with, often will try to match a handle with the faucet or with the shower head. And so that's very hard to do online.
Yeah.
And so this is some of the reasons why we actually start shopping online, absolutely, and then end up going in the store on site to actually see if it matches and if it looks good. And that's something that you can't achieve while shopping online.
No,
For sure.
I want to add one thing that I've seen and been suggesting is develop your pickup area. Like, it could be a counter if you have a warehousing component, it may be there like at a door, but make it a bit of an experience for people. Like, they're not like you opening their car window and you're throwing a box in kind of thing. Like there is a way to kind of, have somebody there and so they can talk or see if they have any questions or things like that. So I think that's going to be a great idea over the coming months.
Okay, good. Some good insight there. Thank you. So Angela would like to know, how do you find local fabricators to make retail fixtures to your specifications? And then we're going to go back to that. She wants to know, how would you properly display a kitchen without a vignette? So there's two questions there.
So the kitchen, I'll go to the kitchen thing first. So I'm just going to go to a very specific client. He had kitchen items and appliances. He didn't use vignettes. What he did is he just used the same cabinetry in the entire showroom. So the cabinetry kind of like blends in and the appliances and the items stand out. Kitchens are a little bit different than a small bathroom vignette. And the great thing about a kitchen vignette is maybe it's harder to change frequently because you're doing the tiling, the counter, everything, but they're the things that make great multifunctional spaces.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cooking, like if you do a cooking demonstration, I know it's hard now, but even filming things like that and having chairs so designers can sit with clients, they do serve multiple purposes. So I still definitely see their value.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the one thing I can think about quickly is the use of mood boards, where sometimes you'll pair a countertop with a door and a hardware, and then showcase the actual kitchen through 3D renderings. And they're very realistic ones. So that's something that we've seen also, where some smaller showrooms can only have one or two kitchen options on display, but then we'll showcase the same kitchen with different doors and creating different style for each setting. So that's also something we've seen.
So going back to the display fixture question, we sometimes mention this, but it is hard to find local people to do to make fixtures that support, like that are engineered for decorative plumbing, especially tubs, toilets, and anything you're affixing to the wall.
And the main I mean, the main goal in these displays is to make them modular so that you're able to move them around and easily change the products through time. I mean, the worst thing I would say that can happen to a showroom is getting into construction site basically every time you want to change a setup because you want the tile that you're showcasing to match the vanity on display, and so every time you're changing that vanity for a different style, you're basically entering a construction site where someone needs to come and remove the tile, add new tile, and that's definitely not helping the showroom experience.
Yeah, so that's actually what we do.
Yeah,
is we make the fixtures to solve that local problem, the problem at the local sourcing level.
Exactly.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. And then John says he sees pictures with drawers, and he said, do you still like drawers with product inside or only product that can be seen while walking the showroom?
I mean, we've seen both. Sometimes the drawers are used for, yeah, sure, go ahead. Sometimes drawers are used for extra product, display. So for instance, you'll have a faucet on display and then you have the different finish options elsewhere in the drawers, for instance. Oh yes, what we see on this screen here was actually meant for hardware. This showroom had a lot of hardware to showcase, and so we maximized the space with this table here. So it could either be for extra products, but also catalogs and books and that kind of thing that can also be very useful to showcase more while taking up less space.
We're getting a lot of requests for better storage and organization and a way to have products out, but not overwhelming. Those sliding things you can see in the background too.
Yeah, the towers.
Like sliding towers or sliding panels, things like that. We're definitely seeing it's a good way to maximize space.
Okay, great. And then Angela's asking that we're going to talk about lighting a little bit. She says, in some of the images that you've shown, is there integrated lighting or is the lighting strictly overhead on tracks?
We've done both. So we usually, as far as the space lighting in the showroom, we generally recommend track lighting, but we have implemented lighting inside the displays. And this is definitely doable. However, it needs to be planned for ahead of time because we need electrical connections, either coming out of the floor, the walls, or the ceiling, even when it's centered in, the center of the space. So we have done it with sometimes LED lighting.
Yeah, like I could see in these type of displays that LEDs could be. Are they in this one?
And we did, yeah.
Okay, so this has LED strips incorporated into it. So yeah, definitely both.
Yeah,
okay. Wonderful. And then Heather, she says, we have a kitchen, bath, and lighting showroom that recently merged, and we're finding the lighting aspect is overwhelming and taking over, making the showroom look cluttered and overwhelming. How do we combine without confusing the customer?
Yeah, to that I'll jump in here and say, because we have actually worked on this type of a showroom and the problematic it comes with. What we generally do is do a space dedicated only for lighting. So showcasing all the lighting fixtures there. And yes, it may look overwhelming because you have a lot of options, but at least it's concentrated into the one area of the showroom and won't take over the entire showroom. And then we use some of these lighting to implement different products of the showroom. So for instance, we've seen a nice chandelier suspended on top of a tub that creates kind of a space of its own and highlights the product and doesn't make it feel overwhelming. So that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, I don't have any photos. I know what Leanne's talking about, but yeah, I've seen this done to success for sure, and some quite beautiful confined lighting areas.
Great. I've got two more for you, ladies. We are a little over time, but that's okay if you're okay with it.
Of course.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Thank you. So Evan said, you mentioned that people are asking for multi-function kitchens due to changes from the pandemic. And he wants to know, what are the functions that people are asking for?
This is the kitchen, from what I've been reading, has turned into an office, a restaurant, a classroom, entertainment center, and also I've seen these beautiful kitchen designs where they're putting these nooks in the like reading nooks.
Basically, yeah.
So I think that I don't think everybody's doing it. I don't know that everybody has the space or the money
Yeah.
to redo a kitchen. That's the most costly remodel anybody's probably ever going to do on a house in a single room. But yeah, with kids at home, and if you don't have other rooms to transform, you know how people always want to be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's where the food is, I guess. But yeah, it's definitely becoming it's becoming a request. We're not being requested, obviously, but I'm seeing this in design trends in a lot of magazines and online resources.
Okay, thank you. And then we're going to jump back one more time to lighting. Garrick wants to know, what color temperature do you recommend for general showroom track lighting?
Yeah, we've seen actually more warm
Okay.
than the like white. A warmer tone actually highlights the product very well, and it gives a nice tone to the showroom, makes it more comfortable, I would say.
Yeah, as opposed to that blue,
Yeah,
the blue
the
and white
bluish white light. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, no more brightness, no more sunglasses, right?
No, exactly.
No. Those gleaming faucets and things, you get a good light on them, and they really do the job.
Exactly.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
And
So-
I would say, I'm sorry, I'm just going to add a little point here. If you are going with lighting, whether it's warm white or cold white, make sure it's consistent throughout and you're not
Okay.
using the two of them.
Oh, okay, good to
Yeah.
know. So stick with the same color scheme.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So another one, what advice would you give to cabinetry showrooms to attract millennials? So that's cabinetry showrooms.
Storage options,
Oh,
like
definitely.
interesting storage options, like those for pots and
Oh,
pans
yes.
and lids.
I mean, these storage shows are all over Netflix right now.
Yeah, it's a
it's
big
becoming
thing.
even more important than the look.
Than the look
basically.
itself. Yeah, it's really
Concentrated.
functional cabinetry.
I agree.
As first-time homeowners, they're not always large homes, so you got to maximize the space. So I would definitely say that. And I guess always watch, is it still the farmhouse look, or is it going more sleek? But I've also heard that, and seen even in the showroom design we're doing, that the hardware is gone. The hardware is like incorporated, so you're going from underneath, or you're pushing or something like that.
Or there's like the handle implemented into the door.
Exactly. Yeah, like the hardware is flush almost with the design. So I've definitely been noting that as well. Even the showrooms have been looking at that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's true.
Great. So Joanne, and then a lot of other people were thanking you for naming those. Could you repeat those top cities in Canada for millennials, please?
Yes.
Ontario.
So it was Ottawa, Ontario,
Waterloo,
Victoria, BC. In Toronto, I wrote Waterloo and Barrie. It's the Barrie area, which I believe is Simcoe County, but also the Durham region. And in Quebec, it's Quebec City. We're actually in Montreal, which is, I thought was a bit of a millennial hotspot, but I guess not. Montreal's had the biggest net outflow of millennials over the past few years.
Anything further west in Canada?
Calgary did come up, but that was actually, the stats I saw were from a few years ago. Calgary's economy's taken a bit of a hit.
In the last couple of years.
And I'd say Regina's kind of like getting there. I've seen it's revitalizing a little bit, and BC it's really, Vancouver doesn't show because of the cost of living, and Toronto, people are moving out because of the cost of living.
Expensive.
Wow, interesting. Well, Leanne and Stephanie, this has been fabulous. Thank you so very much. And again, thank
you.
And thank you all out there, and have a wonderful day. Really, really appreciate it.